Hello, and welcome to another Kaiju OC Profile. Today's monster is going to be on a monster that was a failed experiment from the year 1914. A monster created only for destruction. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Kamohoali'i. Yeah. We're good. Exili here with yet another Kaiju OC profile. And today we'll be taking a look at Zilla 1999, the Green Kaiju's Kamohoali'i. So yeah, we're just gonna dive right in. We're gonna be discussing on Zilla 99's Kaiju here. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So before we go into stats and abilities, he added in some little tidbits for us to know about his monster. So his species is a mutated shark hybrid. I see. Aliases Sameji submarine shark. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna get into stats and abilities. His height is 270 meters, length at 200 meters, weights at 59,999 tons. So, well, damn. Okay, so he's almost about to be 60,000 tons. It seems like. Anyway, abilities: camouflage, bite forces up to 188,000. That is interesting. Cartilage skeleton, lateral lines, ampullae of Lorenzini, sideways tail slaps to stun enemies, speed up to 256 miles per hour, strong skin, strong scent, lateral line. I think we just read that already. Electroreceptions, bioluminescence, blind and for blinding opponents. It seems like hydroblast, shoot water out of its mouth, and its weakness, the gill's eyes. The gill's eyes. That is a very interesting weakness. Okay, let's get into this now. Yeah. Everything here is pretty decent. It's pretty good. Um, you know, like everything else like that, it's overall just I don't see really too much into it. The abilities are not too creative on the names here. There isn't that much naming of abilities. All it is just mainly explaining like what he has as abilities, which isn't bad either. But it's like I don't know if you're gonna be making or creating a monster. I at least would always try to make some of the naming implications of its abilities more creative, more sort of interesting, But obviously, with some people that create Kaiju OCs, they tend to like sort of make the naming implications quick. So, like they instead of like, for example, molten rising flames, all they would say is fire breath. That's pretty much what it is. That's pretty much what I'm trying to get at. All of this list of his abilities are very, very interesting, but they don't really have too much in the naming implications for its abilities. So, yeah, the only thing that does sort of have that kind of application is Hydroblast, which, as far as I know, Hydroblast is from a Pokemon, I believe. I'm not too sure. Um, Correct me if I'm wrong, but Hydroblast is obviously a water that shoots out of its mouth. So, yeah, honestly, instead of calling it Hydroblast, you could call it maybe Hydro Liquid Blaster or something at least more creative instead of just simply Hydroblast. Although at the same time, that name in and of itself isn't really too bad either. But at the same time, in this implication, I would suggest you create more names for your abilities and just, get creative. That's all it really is when it comes to creating kaiju OCs. You got to get creative. You got to be creative and imaginative, which of course many of these people that have done kaiju OC profiles are. They do have creativity, but at the same time, there's always some work to be done. So, but like all other creations that all of us as artists create, there's always some work to be done. So, besides that little short rant, besides the stats and the abilities here and there, there's a lot of work you need to do when it comes to naming your abilities for your monster. So now we're going to go into the backstory the uh, of the monster here. Now, all of this that I'm about to read is all from the creator himself. Is all from the creator. Nothing's been changed. Nothing has been altered. Nothing. So, without further ado, let's read this. Nazis were set out to find something to make their armies stronger, so they can conquer the world. They came across a frozen dead sub-adult megalodon in the frozen waters of the Arctic. They took the body of the shark. While getting ready to leave, they found two unknown hybridous species in the ocean waters. So they captured the two hybridous species and brought them to their camp to do experiments on them. Weeks passed during their experiments. They recently found a dead body of a T-Rex that was discovered in the Congo. Few weeks later, they soon find a prehistoric crocodilian species. This gave the Nazis an idea on how to make their army stronger. So they combined the DNA of the megalodon, prehistoric crocodilian species, and T-Rex into the gen of the male unknown hybridus and made the female and male to mate. 6 months later, the female gave birth to a hybrid, and they named it Kamohoali'i. Once again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name wrong or right, but yeah, I don't know. The name came from a Hawaiian religion. Kamohoali'i is a shark god and a brother of Kane Miloha, Pele Kapo Namaka, and Hihaka. Kamohoali'i swam in the area around the islands of Maui and Kohala. They test the creature, but ended up losing their best scientist. So they used their prisoners to feed the beast for testing. On September 2nd, 1945, soldiers of the U.S. set a bomb near the testing area where Kamohoali'i was. When the bomb set off, Kamohoali'i was released with a mighty loud roar. Some of the soldiers fired at the beast as other soldiers ran away from the beast due to its size being the same length of a submarine. Nazis' tanks fired at the creature to contain the beast, but the tanks ended up destroyed due to the beast's skin, and its skin was strong enough to deflect missiles. The beast senses more Nazi soldiers and tanks, so the creature quickly swam into the ocean waters, never to be seen again. Okay, so this is an interesting sort of take, mixing both fiction and reality with the First World War. And with testings and all that. And obviously there are some questions to be had, like how did they find a perfectly well preserved dead body of a T-Rex? That is very interesting. Yeah, this honestly kind of caught my eye, is the naming implication for the monster. The creator here actually went into read into research on naming his monster, based off of Hawaiian religion, which I find to be pretty interesting. I don't know. It's just something like that where in which some creators out there that would go to great lengths to actually, make their monster's name and also linking it to like religion or other sort of aspects of the world. And of course, the monster ends up running away from the Nazis, never to be seen again. Yeah, honestly, this backstory to this monster is honestly interesting. I do like the whole fiction and non-fiction elements being put into the backstory here. Um, I mean, of course, there's a lot of questions to be had with T Rex being found at the Congo just randomly. Like, oh, there's a dead T Rex. Oh, let's take that shit. All right, let's go. It's like, I don't know. But besides that, I mean, everything else is pretty interesting. Lots of interesting elements put in here to the backstory of the monster. So, yeah. Right, so now we'll be taking a look at the monster's design. Now, of course, it is a Tyrannosaurus. It's a Megalodon. It's a hybridus species. Yeah. Lots of things with this monster. It's a complete hybridized monster. Um, there isn't really much else to really go into when visually looking at the design. Now, when it comes to like the aspect of it being both a crocodilian but also Tyrannosaurus, and also at the same time also being a hybrid. Usually when it comes to hybridized monsters, at least with me, I always try to make them almost strange, but also sort of something that you would kind of see. Like for example, like if I were to add a crocodile mixed with a fly trap, you mix those together, and what do you get? A monster that vaguely resembles of what it was supposed to be. You get a wider mouth, no eyes, of course, when it comes to creatures like that, and just overall, just a very strange and bizarre uh, looking hybrid. And of course, in this case, we have a crocodile mixed with a T Rex, mixed with a megalodon, mixed with a hybridus species, all roll into one. And honestly, I would feel that if there's so much mixed into this monster, that there should be a lot of distorted features with this monster. And also, not to mention, he also got hit with the bomb in 1945, according to the backstory. So, there'll be a lot of radiation deformities here, but also at the same time making it huge and making it massive in the process. So obviously, I would say to maybe fix up a bit on the design and adding a little bit more features to it, as well as having your monster not include eyeballs. I feel like that would be a very menacing but also very interesting feature on the monster as well. So, with that all in mind, I would say to just fix up a bit on the monster's overall design and maybe add a few more stuff to the design to better fit that description of a hybridized, radiated monster. So, what are my final thoughts here on Zilla 99's Kamohoali'i? Well, I have to say that besides all the little nitpicks here and there that I've discussed, the monster itself is a very interesting concept with a pretty interesting backstory to it. Um, like I mentioned already before, there was a lot of things to work on, a lot of things to rework here and there on the design, the naming, placing of the abilities. Overall, like once you really get down to it, this monster is the overall stats, abilities, backstory, it's all decent. It really is. It just needs a little bit more work to it. And that's the same goes for its design. There's a lot of things to rework here. Lots of things you could really do with it. You know, there's a lot of capabilities, lots of things you could do with upgrading your design of the monster. So yeah, other than that though, that's pretty much all there really is. I really like the naming, the way you named your monster being based off of Hawaiian religion, which I find to be pretty interesting. So yeah, other than that though, guys, there's not really much else to say. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, if you guys are interested in wanting me featuring your monster in a Kaiju OC profile video, be sure to hit me up on Instagram or on my Discord, and you just hit me up, and I'll most likely respond. Yeah, other than that though, guys, there's not really much else to say. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. I'll see you guys in the next one, and sayonara.